Hi, welcome back to Talk of the Town. Designers and purveyors of savory spice blends, Tom and Bernadette Wilson began in 1998 as a small family business and now have over 90 blends in 30 countries spread across 6 continents, and have recently moved their company to Hilton Head Island. Joining us now, Tom and Bernadette, to tell us about the continued expansion of their product line. Hi, welcome to the show.
Hi, Sandy. How are you?
Hi, Sandy.
So happy to have you here. So you've actually moved from Hilton Head Island, or to Hilton Head Island from the New England area. So tell us a little bit about how you came up with creating spice blends, how this became your, I guess, your business.
Yes, we originally I was in the construction business, and I was looking for basically a turn of venue and trying to get away from the hectic world of construction and meeting deadlines and collecting money. And one day my wife provided me with a cookbook, and it had a list of spice blends in it. It was like 2 of them, I think. And I said, oh gee, I could do this, And I started off blindly, just sort of trial and error. I didn't really know where to buy the spices from. I didn't know the interrelationship, that would make the blends work. And I just started fooling around with it. And that was 20 years ago. And here we are, we're designing spice blends for major companies, specifically restaurants, and having a great time at it.
Yeah. Oh, it sounds like a fun, a new. I mean, to go from building
right
to spice design.
And I get that all the time.
Yeah. Oh,
what's the correlation?
Yeah, I think it's great. So, how did you develop your knowledge of designing the spice blends? You said you really didn't know where to start, but obviously you've done it.
It took quite a while, Sandy, because in the initial startup of the company, it was basically trial and error.
Right.
And certainly most families have somebody in the family that makes blends, or the grandmother or whoever makes blends, their own blends for cooking. So it started sort of like a trial and error, and I really had no idea what I was doing. And along the way, I developed a method to put the spices together, because you really can't go to school. You can go to school for cooking, but you can't go to school for developing spice blends. There's no classes that you can take.
Okay.
So initially it was trial and error, and then after that, I got involved. I could basically taste the spices in my head, and that gave me the ability to determine the quantities, whether it's a half a cup of this or a quarter cup of that, in terms of the spices. And that sort of led me into something else, and then I did a lot of research, and eventually I got the hang of it.
Okay.
Well, the interesting thing is that he doesn't cook.
Are you the cook?
I'm the cook.
And are you good with the spices? Do you have any input with creating these spices?
I do. I'm the taste tester.
You're the taste tester.
Yes.
I love that, Bernadette. So what kind of spice blends have you developed so far?
Well, we've got about 100 spice blends right now that we've developed. About half of those are from foreign countries and islands and that kind of thing, what we call our international line.
Okay.
But then we have a lot of things that are generic to the South, like the Cajun and the low country boil and seasoned salt and that kind of a thing.
Certainly.
And we do a lot of design for the chefs on the islands.
Okay.
We do some work for Surge, and we do some work for the Raleigh family. And they come to us to design a blend for them, and then we do the packaging, the labeling, the whole 9 yards.
Right.
And then they sell it retail, and they use it in the restaurant.
So what brought you to Hilton Head? I mean, you were obviously in New England in a beautiful area, but what brought you down here?
My wife. We love the area. We've been coming down here visiting for probably around 11 or 10 years before we actually made the move.
Okay.
And then when I made the move, I didn't really get into the spices actually, because I retired. And then I started doing work for a major resort on the island. And the guy who was a chef was a friend of mine, and I would help him walk his dog. And I started giving him blends, and he started using them. And he says, well, I can get you into the resort. I says, oh, really? And then from there, that led to us getting into all of the restaurants that were here on the island.
And quickly, are you considering the opening of a retail store on Hilton Head to sell your blends?
Yes.
Because I think right now it's email, correct?
It's
Everything's
basically
from
email,
your
and we have the
website?
Bluffton Farmers Market on
Okay,
Thursday. We're there
okay.
every Thursday, so people can come and join us then. Right now, I'm working with several real estate agents, because most of our spices, if not all of them, are packed somewhere else.
Okay.
And what we want to do is open up a retail store in Hilton Head, and then process our own spices you know, in the back, and then sell in the front of the store retail.
Well, very exciting for you both, and best of luck, and thank you for joining us today.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you,
Appreciate it.
And we'll be right back with Talk of the Town.